riding Can-Am's 2022 side-by-side lineup in the wet Georgia clay. If any company wants to stay relevant in this fast-paced world that we're all living in, it must be continually evolving and innovating. This isn't only true of the automotive world, but of powersports as well. In fact, there's no other market right now that is as fiercely competitive as the performance side-by-side segment. Even though Can-Am's flagship Maverick X3 received major updates for the 2021 model year, that didn't stop the company from improving the go-fast off-road UTV for the 2022 model year. The company also updated its workhorse Defender model for 2022 as well. In order to sample the new wares, Can-Am invited us out to the fabulous Iron Mountain Resort Off-Road Park in Dahlonega, Georgia. When we arrived, there were more than a dozen 2022 Maverick X3 and Defender side-by-sides of varying models waiting for us, along with an impending spring storm. With the rain coming down hard, we geared up in between thunderclaps and headed off to the trails. Our morning was spent in the Maverick X3. Then, after lunch, as the rain pummeled the hills even harder, we buckled into the Defender for a sporty jaunt around the property. How did these updated UTVs handle the mud and rain? Read on to find out. 2022 Can-Am Maverick X3 XRS Turbo RR. Can-Am laid out a spread of about 8 different 2022 Maverick X3 models for us to choose from. Naturally, we made a beeline for the top-of-the-line 2-seat model, the 2022 Can-Am Maverick X3 XRS Turbo RR with SmartShocks technology. What does this mouthful of letters mean exactly? Let's break it down. First, Can-Am is the manufacturer, and Maverick X3 is the model. The second X denotes a trim package, and RS indicates that the suspension is 72 inches wide, versus the DS and M are at 64 inches. Turbo RR shows that the side-by-side has the 200 horsepower turbocharged engine, and SmartShocks is Fox's brand name for their electronically controlled dampers. Maverick X3, what's new for 2022? The biggest improvement that Can-Am made to the 2022 Maverick X3 lineup was increasing the maximum horsepower produced by the UTV's turbocharged 900 cubic centimeters inline triple-cylinder engine from 195 to 200 horsepower. When this was announced in August of 2021, the company was the first with a side-by-side to crack the 200 horsepower mark. Since then, Polaris has brought to market its 2022 RZR Pro R with a 225 horsepower 4-cylinder engine. This engine choice, however, places the vehicle in a different class than the Can-Am Maverick X3 in most states, so we'll just sit back and let these two heavyweights duke it out for who actually has the most power in their respective classes. We'll just end with the fact that 200 horsepower in a vehicle that weighs less than 2,000 pounds is ludicrous no matter how you slice it. Aside from the slight bump in horsepower, the 2022 Can-Am Maverick X3 Turbo RR models were also fitted with an upgraded clutch that utilizes the company's P-Drive roller clutch system and Quick Response System X, QRSX, CVT. Also new for 2022, Can-Am has increased the suspension ride height and now offers a 32-inch Maxxis Carnivore tire. The 2022 Maverick X3's frame has also been stiffened in key areas, but that's less noticeable to the end user. How does the 2022 Can-Am Commander X3 ride? We spent an extensive amount of time traversing the desert Southwest with a 2021 Can-Am Commander X3 Max XRS Turbo RR, so to say that we're familiar with the vehicle would be an understatement. However, we'd been geographically limited to the open deserts, and were excited to take a crack at some woods riding. Unfortunately, as previously mentioned, Mother Nature had different plans for our adventure. A sloppy mud ride is also a unique experience to us, so we buckled in for a messy good time as the rain continued to fall. The biggest disappointment because of the rain is that we weren't able to fully open up the throttle to experience the Maverick X3 Turbo RR's full 200 horsepower. In fact, while we've been able to get our 2021 model to over 90 miles per hour, top speed is officially listed as limited to 85 miles per hour, our trail ride in Georgia probably averaged just 25 miles per hour. But we know the 5 horsepower is more of a bragging right than something you'd actually feel, so we'll forgive this. The bigger news is that Can-Am actually solved many of our biggest complaints from our time with the 2021 model. Low ground clearance proved to be a big issue in our riding, and the increased ground clearance, and addition of 32-inch tires for 2022 has completely rectified this. While the 2021 Maverick X3 would frequently hit the belly skid plate on the trail, we never once managed to bottom out the 2022 model. Yes, the trails were a bit different, but it was immediately noticeable that the massive 16 inches of ground clearance would allow the Maverick X3 to drive over just about anything. In addition to the ground clearance improvement, we also immediately noticed that the clutch engagement of the 2022 Maverick X3 Turbo RR was far and away better than we experienced with the 2021 model. Engagement of the 2021 Can-Am Maverick X3 Max X RS Turbo RR clutch was very jerky and felt at times unrefined. It's a tough feeling to describe with words, but the clutch would chatter like a manual transmission truck's clutch slipping, and would also clang and bang like a gear set with a very loose mesh. This always happened at low speed or when the throttle was released. Now, with the improvements for the 2022 model year Turbo RR cars, Can-Am has given this side-by-side the instant-on power that it deserves. Rolling into the throttle on the 2022 delivers smooth and brisk acceleration, much more akin to a performance car with an automatic transmission than the old clutch.
Thanks for watching. Drop a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to watch more videos like this.